All right, we're just continuing with chapter 6. This is the second part of chapter 6, so if you did not read the first part, go ahead and click on that first. You're mad. Artemis nodded indulgently. If I win, I'm a prodigy. If I lose, then I'm mad. That's the way history is written. Of course, there had been no sodium pentothal, just a harmless prick with a sterilized needle. Artemis would not risk causing brain damage to his meal ticket, but nor could he afford to reveal the book as the source of his information. Better to let the hostage believe that she had betrayed her own people. It would lower her morale, making her more susceptible to his mind games. Still, the ruse disturbed him. It was undeniably cruel. How far was he prepared to go for this gold? He didn't know, and wouldn't until the time came. Holly slumped, momentarily defeated by this latest development. She had talked, revealed sacred secrets. Even if she did manage to escape, she would be banished to some freezing tunnel under the Arctic Circle. This isn't over, Fowl, she said at last. We have powers you can't possibly know about. It would take days to describe them all. The infuriating boy laughed again. How long do you think you've been here? Holly groaned. She knew what was coming. A few hours? Artemis shook his head. 3 days, he lied. We've had you on a drip for over 60 hours until you told us everything we needed to know. Even as the words came out, Artemis felt guilty. These mind games were having an obvious effect on Holly, destroying her from the inside out. Was there really a need for this? 3 days? You could have killed me. What kind of... And it was that speechless quality that sent the doubt shooting through Artemis's brain. The fairy thought him so evil, she couldn't even find the words. Holly pulled herself together. Well then, Mr. Fowl, she spat, heavy on the contempt, if you know so much about us, then you know what happens when they locate me. Artemis nodded absently. Oh, yes, I know. In fact, I'm counting on it. It was Holly's turn to grin. Oh, really? Tell me, boy, have you ever met a troll? For the first time, the human's confidence dropped a notch. No, never a troll. Holly showed more teeth. You will, Fowl, you will, and I hope I'm there to see it. The LEP had established a Surface Ops HQ at E1, Terra. Well, said Root, slapping a paramedic gremlin who was applying burn salve to his forehead, leave it. The magic will sort me out soon enough. Well, what? Replied Foley. Don't give me any of your lip today, Foley, because today is not one of those, oh, I'm so impressed with the pony's technology days. Tell me what you found on the human. Foley scowled, securing his foil hat on his head. He flipped the top on a wafer-thin laptop. I hacked into Interpol. Not too difficult, I can tell you. They might as well have put out a welcome mat. Root drummed his fingers on the conference table. Get on with it. Right. Fowl. 10-gigabyte file. In paper terms, that's half a library. The commander whistled. That's one busy human. Family, corrected Foley. The Fowls have been subverting justice for generations. Racketeering, smuggling, armed robbery, mostly corporate crime last century. So do we have a location? That was the easy bit. Fowl Manor, on a 200-acre estate on the outskirts of Dublin. Fowl Manor is only about 20 clicks from our current location. Root chewed his bottom lip. Only 20? That means we can make it before first light. Yep. Sort out this whole mess before it gets out of hand in the rays of the sun. Sorry, guys, I'm having trouble scrolling. Hold on. Oh, what happened? I am so sorry about that. Here we go. The commander nodded. This was their first break. Fairies had not operated in natural light for centuries. Even when they had lived above ground, they were essentially night creatures. The sun diluted their magic like bleaching a photograph. If they had to wait another day before sending in a strike force, who knew what damage Fowl could achieve? It was even possible that this whole affair was media-oriented, and by tomorrow evening, Captain Short's face would be on the cover of every publication on the planet. Root shuddered. That would spell the end of everything, unless the mud people had learned to coexist with other species. And if history had taught him any lessons, it was that humans couldn't get along with anyone, even themselves. Right. Everyone, lock and load, V-flight pattern. Establish a perimeter inside the manor grounds. The retrieval squad roared military-type affirmatives, coaxing as many metallic noises from their weapons as possible. Foley, round up the techies. Follow us in the shuttle, and bring the big dishes. We'll shut down the entire estate, give ourselves a bit of breathing room. One thing, Commander, mused Foley. Yes, said Root impatiently. Why did this human tell us who he was? He must have known we could find him. Root shrugged. Maybe he's not as clever as he thinks he is. No, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. I think he's been one step ahead of us all the way. And this is no different. I don't have time for theorizing now, Foley. Our first light is approaching. One more thing, Commander. Is this important? Yes, I think it is. Well, Foley tapped a key on his laptop, scrolling through Artemis's vital statistics. This criminal mastermind, the one behind this elaborate scheme. Yes, what about him? Foley looked up, an almost admiring look in his golden eyes. Well, he's only 12 years old, and that's young, even for a human. Root snorted, jacking a new battery into his tri-barreled blaster. Too much damn TV. Thinks he's Sherlock Holmes. That's Professor Moriarty, corrected Foley. Holmes, Moriarty, they both look the same with the flesh scorched off their skulls. And with that elegant parting riposte, Root followed his squad into the night air. The retrieval squad adopted the Vive Goose formation with Root on point. They flew southwest, following the video feed emailed to their helmets. Foley had even marked Fowl Manor with a red dot. Idiot-proof, he'd muttered into his mouthpiece, just loud enough for the commander to hear him. The Fowls had held onto Fowl Manor over the years, surviving war, civil unrest, and several tax audits. Artemis did not intend to be the one to lose it. The estate was ringed by a 5-meter crenellated stone wall, complete with the original guard towers and walkways. The retrieval squad put down just inside the boundary and began an immediate scan for possible hostiles. 20 meters apart, instructed Root. Sweep the area. Check in every 60 seconds. Clear? Retrieval nodded. Of course it was clear. They were professionals. Lieutenant Gudgeon, retrieval squad's leader, climbed a guard tower. You know what we should do, Julius? He and Root had been in the academy together, brought up in the same tunnel. Gudgeon was one of perhaps 5 fairies who called Root by his first name. I know what you think we should do. We should blast the whole place. What a surprise. The cleanest way. 1 blue rinse and our losses are minimum. Blue rinse was the slang term for the devastating biological bomb used on rare occasions by the Force. The clever thing about a biobomb was that it destroyed only living tissue. The landscape was unchanged. That minimum loss you're talking about happens to be one of my officers. Oh, yes, tutted Gudgeon, a female recon officer, the test case. Well, I don't think you'll have any problem justifying a tactical solution. Root's face took on that familiar purple hue. The best thing you can do right now is stay out of my way, or else I may be forced to ram that blue rinse straight down into that morass you call a brain. Gudgeon was unperturbed. Insulting me doesn't change the facts, Julius. You know what the book says. We cannot, under any circumstances, allow the lower elements to be compromised. Our first stop is all you get. After that, the lieutenant didn't finish his statement. He didn't have to. I know what the book says, snapped Root. I just wish you weren't so gung-ho about it. If I didn't know better, I'd say there was some human blood in you. There's no call for that, pouted Gudgeon. I'm only doing my job. Point taken, conceded the commander. I'm sorry. You didn't often hear Root apologizing, but then it had been a deeply offensive insult. Butler was on monitors. Anything? Asked Artemis. Butler started. He hadn't heard the young master come in. No, nothing. Once or twice I thought I saw a flicker, but it turned out to be nothing. Nothing is nothing, commented Artemis cryptically. Use the new camera. Butler nodded. Only last month, Master Fowl had purchased a cinecamera over the internet. 2,000 frames a second, recently developed by Industrial Light and Magic for specialized nature shoots, hummingbird wings and such. It processed images faster than the human eye could. Artemis had had it installed over behind a cherub over the main entrance. Butler activated the joypad. Where? Try the avenue. I have a feeling visitors are on the way. The manservant manipulated the toothpick-sized stick with his massive fingers. A live image sprang into life on the digital monitor. Nothing, muttered Butler, quiet as the grave. Artemis pointed to the control desk. Freeze it. Butler nearly queried the order. Nearly. Instead, he held his tongue and pressed the pad. On screen, the cherry trees froze, blossoms trapped in mid-air. More importantly, a dozen or so black-clad figures suddenly appeared on the avenue. What? Exclaimed Butler. Where did they spring from? They're shielded, explained Artemis, vibrating at high speed, too fast for the human eye to follow. But not for the camera, nodded Butler. Master Artemis, always 2 steps ahead. If only I could carry it around with me. If only. But we do have the next best thing. Artemis lifted a headset gingerly from a workbench. It was the remains of Holly's helmet. Obviously, trying to cram Butler's head into the original helmet would be like trying to fit a potato into a thimble. Only the visor and control buttons were intact. Straps from a hard hat had been jury-rigged to fit the manservant's cranium. This thing is equipped with several filters. It stands to reason that one of them is anti-shield. Let's try it out, shall we? Artemis placed the set over Butler's ears. Obviously, with your eye span, there are going to be blind spots, but that shouldn't hamper you unduly. Now run the camera. Butler set the camera rolling again while Artemis slotted down one filter after another. Now? No. Now? Everything's gone red, ultraviolet, no fairies. Now? No, Polaroid, I think. Last one. Butler smiled, a shark that spotted a bear behind. Got him. Butler was seeing the world as it was, complete with LEP retrieval teams sweeping the avenue. Said Artemis. Strobe variation, I would guess, very high frequency. I see, fibbed Butler. Metaphorically or literally? Smiled his employer. Exactly. Artemis shook himself. More jokes. Next thing he'd be wearing clown shoes and turning cartwheels in the main hall. Very well, Butler. Time for you to do what you do best. We appear to have intruders in the grounds. Butler stood. No further instructions were necessary. He tightened the hard hat straps, striding brusquely to the door. I am going to finish right there. We will pick up Chapter 6 next week. I'm hoping to have all of the chapters read to you by the end of the school year. I think that we can do it. I might have to pile on a few extra on the last week. We'll see. But that way you can finish the book if you wish. I hope you're enjoying it. Good job, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.